Yay, people.
Yep, it's 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock. And we are live another week on Fumi and IK. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So let's have a look. We've got, yep.
Okay, people are coming in.
Wonderful.
Hello, people.
Hi, everyone, and welcome officially again to our platform. And of course, this is the last episode of the season, and it is set to be an amazing session. We can't wait to be back very soon. But whilst we're here today, we just want to ask you to please fasten your seatbelts because we're about to go on a ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
So hello, welcome people. So today is a very special day. It's the final for the first season. So we're going to take a bit of a break. We're going to, re-energize, get ourselves ready for a new season. And of course, we've got a lot to share. We've got a lot of news and updates to share with you guys. And of course, a lot of question and answers that, we will explain what we're going to do today anyway. But
should we share the screen?
Okay, so let me just
share slides. Awesome. So honestly, today the topic is pretty much refuel, because we do need to go and refuel our tank. We've poured out so much in the past 10 weeks, and it's time to go back and recharge our batteries so that we can come back fully re-energized for you guys for next season. So please feel free to use the comment section for comments, contributions, suggestions, whatever it is that you guys want to put in there, feel free to do that. And of course, today we're going to be talking about just looking over questions that we were unable to go through during the course of the 10 weeks. We've been able to fish them out somehow. And so we're going through them today. And feel free to use the Q&A section if we've got any questions that you'd like to ask us today as well. We'd be more than happy to look at that. Yes, so it's a safe space. Please do not share your contact details. Do not put any information that you are unsure about that you don't want people to actually use inappropriately. So do not share your personal details, period. Okay,
so
are you excited?
Yes, I'm excited. Today is my birthday, in case you guys don't know.
Yes. Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Happy birthday to her. Yeah. So you can imagine it's a double whammy today. It's celebrating my amazing, amazing sister here, +1, and it's going to be a wonderful year for you. I pray for you.
Amen,
and what you wish, I pray comes to fruition. And so guys,
thank you.
Wish IK a happy birthday in the comment section.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Awesome.
So let's go straight into today.
Yes, absolutely. So it's all about key takeaways, like we've said, what we've done over the past 9 weeks, looking at Q&As that we were unable to answer, and of course, key health and safety requirements post-lockdown. Just a gentle reminder, because everyone's going back to work. The lockdown has been, eased off in so many jurisdictions now. So it's important that we begin to do the right thing and know what the right thing is. And so pretty much that's what today is about. And of course, juicy news and updates. So we're not just going away to go and refuel and recharge and not come back with a big bang. So we have updates for you, and so we'll be giving you a bit of insight into what to expect when we do return. So we're going straight into the key takeaways and the Q&A. Yeah.
So of course, this is from the very first session that we had. If you can remember, we started off with career continuity planning, and the first half was on stress management, and that was, facilitated by Fumi. And then of course, I did something on staying relevant in the workplace. So of course, as the questions come, whichever is relevant to us, we will answer. And then we'll also be inviting John back in to deal with the business continuity part. We don't want to answer his questions for him, So of course, when we get there, we'll do that.
I think it's a way of saying a big thank you to John, because consistently he has been on here. This is the 10th week. So John, what a way to say thank you. So we will please get ready, because we will bring you to join us live very soon, particularly to come and talk about the business continuity topic, questions from there. So awesome.
Okay, so one second, please, sorry. Okay, so many organizations will take decisions that will impact us after this lockdown. How do we prepare ourselves for this? So
to be honest, it's just about, first of all, knowing your boundaries, what you can do and what you cannot do. personally, you don't want to expose yourself to any risk, because unfortunately we will still have some organizations that will put profit over health. That was because, as expected, people have been, businesses have been shut down. The economies around the world have been shut down for so long. And so people are looking at how do we get back on our feet, So it's very likely that some organizations or decision makers may not particularly take into consideration your well-being or your health. So it's important that you stand your ground and not expose yourself to anything or, get involved in anything that's going to impact your health, your safety, and your well-being. So where you feel that that is about to be infringed, you need to communicate that to top management, bring it to their attention, particularly if you are also a health and safety person. We want our health and safety personnel to start driving right campaigns, to drive, well-being campaigns, to drive, do a lot of sensitization, but do not, if you can't control anything, don't lose your mind over it as well. That's another thing. You get overwhelmed by so much work. Don't lose sleep over it. If you have no control over it, you can't control it. That's just...
And the thing is, I think in this period, many people are being made redundant, so at least I know a few people who have, been asked to stop or who have been made redundant. So they are thinking, what next, And I think many people kind of like expected it, knowing how their employers and really their companies were struggling, with this period. So it's very, very important that we think about mental health first. And I think with what has happened in the last few weeks or months, not even weeks, months, what has happened that just made us realize that money is not important.
Absolutely.
And even sometimes your career is not even important. Your life comes first. Absolutely. Surviving comes first. So I think if you're going through that, where you're going through a redundancy or you've lost your job, you need to remember that your life comes first. So don't think about, my job and all that. The truth is another job will come.
Absolutely.
It might be a bit difficult, it might take time, but another job will come. So just, prepare yourselves, and focus on your life. Focus
jobs can be replaced. Exactly. Jobs can be replaced, but your life cannot be replaced. So that's priority.
Yeah.
Great.
So it says here, how do you manage an employer that likes to juggle 3 or 4 ideas at the same time? You're expected to contribute to all the ideas. It can be overwhelming. And I think this question is actually for me. I think it was for me. And for me, because the truth is we run businesses, and I'm telling you, we don't have one idea. We don't just stick with one idea. We have 3, 4, 5, God knows how many projects that we run at the same time. So it's very important for us to prioritize. And one thing I love to do is I love to use my calendar a lot. I like to schedule, so I schedule things in and I plan. I prioritize, because the truth is all 3, 4 ideas will not have the same level of importance, so I prioritize what's going to take me more time, what's more important, what's more important to my boss at this minute, what do I need to provide results on right now. So it's very important to prioritize and give energy and time and focus to that thing that matters now, and then just schedule out your plan. When am I going to be done with this? What do I need to do today? What do I need to do by the end of the week? What should I have achieved? What support do I need? What resources do I need? So you really need to think about everything. How am I going to get results? I know it can be overwhelming, but the truth is, if you want to be in that employment, actually in this time, you must contribute to all those ideas and try not to get overwhelmed. And the truth is, take a break. I sleep sometimes. I work from home these days, and sometimes I feel really, really drained, or I feel really stressed with everything that is, with all my work and all that. I do take breaks. I take my 30 minutes. And what? I'm taking a break now. I'm going to just relax, drink a cup of tea, go for a walk, or just lie down. So you are allowed to give yourself a break. Don't get overwhelmed by trying to do everything at once. The truth is, I've noticed that when I'm stressed, or when I'm tired, I can't really function. I can't really be productive. I can't really do much. So what's the point of trying to do all that at once, but you're not getting results? So it's very important not to be overwhelmed.
You're right. And I think the key word, like you rightly said, is prioritizing. Because, and to be honest, what's important to somebody else may not necessarily be important to you. So you have that pressure that people are saying, it's so important, it's so important. You need to decide what's important based on your deliverables. Okay. And that's pretty much what Ike said. The operative word here is prioritizing what is important against your KPIs. And that leads on very nicely even to the next question, because if you're being pressured at work, or you have a lot of work to do, deadlines and what have you, again, how do you balance that and ensuring that you stay relevant in the workplace where your employer or your organization appreciate your value? So what do you do if they don't see your value? What do you do?
And I think for me, sometimes you are not doing the right thing. I think we need to understand what our employers want. Some people just go in there having their own dreams. It's good to have dreams. It's good to have vision. It's good to, plan your own life and what you want to achieve. But the truth is, once you're working for someone, their dreams and their vision comes before yours. They are paying you.
Absolutely.
So you need to really understand, what does my organization want? How can I deliver? And that's the way they will see value. When you are giving them what they want, when they are getting results from the work that you're doing, they will think you are some fantastic person. But when you're not doing the right thing, you're trying to, it's all about you. Then of course, even if you are doing so much, they'll see no value because they're not getting the answer. They're not getting the result that they want. Just like with businesses, if you are selling a product that people don't want, nobody will buy it. But they will only buy when they know that they will get results, when they know that they will get something from it. So it's really about me here. It might be selfish, but the truth is, it's about your organization. So you need to make sure that you are, giving them what they want, putting your energy, And
I think we talked about this as well. Was it 2 weeks ago where we were saying that outside of just your core competency, try and upskill yourself as well to see how you can be versatile to even add more value to the organization. When they see that this one is an added value, it goes without saying, they would definitely appreciate what you can bring to the table. John, have you got a response to that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I have a couple of responses to that. The first one would be really that as long as we're sure we're not overvaluing ourselves, if your employer is undervaluing you, you have the ultimate choice. The ultimate sanction is go find a job somewhere else. Now, that's very, very easy to say. In this day and age, it's not that easy to do. And you may be, the grass is always greener on the other side of the hill, on the other field. So it's something you have to consider very, very carefully. But it's something you should have been aware of right from the interview stage. If you're in an interview, the last interview question a good company will ask you is, what do you have to ask me? What do you have to ask this company? And you should always have something prepared. That gives you an opportunity to show you've done your homework. Say, yes, I notice your company's doing this strategy or that strategy. Make some comment on it. If you don't get asked that, that's already at interview stage, before you've even got the job, a clue that perhaps you may be seeking a better company to go for, because employment's a two-way street. So definitely, please, always the one thing I say to people is, if you are going to jump ship, if you are going to go, pick your time and do it on your terms, not on theirs. Don't fly into a handle. You won't give me a raise, to heck with you, and storm out the door. So you won't give me a raise? Okay, that's not a problem. That's a very good signal to you. Your future is elsewhere. And then you make your plans and go in your time. Keep control. Don't fly off the handle. Don't get emotional. Make a long-term plan. And upskilling, again, very, very important. If you can get your employer to pay for it, great. And some employers are reluctant to do that because they think, I'm going to pay this guy to increase his skills and he's going to leave me. But remember, other employers are doing the same. So you're going to be, when you leave that company, somebody else is going to come who'll have been trained by somebody else. So it does balance itself out that way. Okay, thanks. Oh, somebody was saying on the chat they couldn't hear you. They had no volume. So I hope they have now, but they'll have to do something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you couldn't hear us, did you say?
No, he could. I thought he said
one person, Domingo
okay.
said on the chat that they couldn't.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Right. Second one is, how can HR help engage employees in health and safety? To be honest, I'm so passionate about this actually, because, they play a key role. Health and safety are more of the operational guys who deliver all the policies and procedures that HR puts in place. So it is important, firstly, that HR understands the business area that they want to support. So firstly, it's for HR employees or HR to be trained in, health and safety. So, and there is a training that they can go on, whether it's health and safety, IOSH, occupational health and safety for well-being. They can do something like that, because if you don't understand the business area, you cannot support, the operations of that business area. So first thing they need to do, what HR can do to help, is educate themselves on health and safety. And when they understand that it is a compliance thing, it is a culture thing, they will get on board as well. And of course, working hand in hand you know, cooperatively with the health and safety guys to drum up campaign and to raise awareness within the organization.
Okay, well, that's fantastic. Yeah, okay. So in situations where the CEO or the management are reluctant to implement HSE, can we suggest some practical ways to address this? And I think with this, really, one of the ways that I do this is to involve them in my management meetings, because usually you would have H&S management review meetings or review meetings or even H&S committees, you know. So it's really important to involve them and speak the language that they understand, you know. So for example, you're dealing with the finance team, I'll be talking about money, you know, and I'll be talking about claims, and I'll be talking about compensations, and I'll be talking about fines, and nobody wants to lose money, you know. So it's really important to get them involved in it from the get-go. Like I don't know, I think I'll use my current company for example. Many of the leaders and the management team, they're all involved in health and safety in some way. They have health and safety responsibilities. So if something is not right here, then you know who to go to, you know. So they must also be given responsibilities. I think most organizations just think, oh, it's the health and safety manager that should do it and that's it. No, everybody should be involved. Everybody must have their responsibilities where they're helping to make sure that we are compliant, you know, and that we are improving our processes and also improving, you know, like our safety performance and things like that. You know, so I think it's very important to involve them in every aspect. And especially the meetings, let them see the numbers, let them see the stats, let them see what's going on in their departments, the number of injuries, the number of readers you've had to report this last month, and the impact it's having on the business, the impact it has on the insurance premium and things like that. Absolutely. They need to see that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head, really. It's not about going to management with emotions, because I think a lot of professionals may sometimes do that. I feel, nobody cares what you feel. You need to be going to management with facts. And I said something very profound. Speak their language. If you're speaking to a HR person who's talking in the language that understands sicknesses and absences, you know, when you're talking to finance, you're talking about claims or all the litigations and things like that. When you so you need to understand the audience and and communicate with them. And you're right, you know, getting them involved is part of the requirement within the ISO standards for health and safety. Leadership involvement, they must be there. Leadership commitment, you need to find ways to get them involved and let them move from the mindset of we can delegate responsibility, but let them see that yes, they can do that, but absolutely accountability still remains theirs. And so they must be involved. If anything goes wrong, we're talking corporate manslaughter, they're the first people they're after. So you need to be able to communicate all of those things to them, that we're all going down together. Nobody wants to go down.
Okay, so this one, I think this one was by us. Yes. And it was really a day where we talked about training. And I think she did the training part because the truth is sometimes your employers cannot, or they don't see a good reason why they should actually pay for you to be trained. You know, so she talked about the training aspect, and I talked about, you know, like volunteering or using or supporting the health and safety department, you know, giving your time, your resources, and not just you going for trainings, you know. So, and then I think one of the questions that was asked that day was, how do you prove to the organization that health and safety is not just an expense department? Because some people think that health and safety is just about, oh, we're spending money. But from my experience, we usually have the lowest budget. We usually have the lowest budget. So how is it an expense, you know? So how do you prove to them?
I think just, it's a follow-on really from what we've just said. So because this is now addressing perhaps the person dealing with finances. That's the finance director, the finance department. Again, you've got to speak in their language when you're telling them, actually, we've saved, because we've got good health and safety infrastructure in place, we've been able to save on absences and sicknesses. And this is what it looks like in numbers. Oh, we've been able to save on insurance premium, because we've been able to demonstrate to the insurance company that we have a very robust and working system in place. Our premiums are reduced from X to Z. So they can see that you're actually a cost saving center rather than a cost center, as it were. So I think it's about really just understanding how to dialogue with finance.
And I think that will be a very good topic for us to have. When we come back in the next season, we have to bring on a finance person so that we health and safety people know how to talk about finance. Absolutely. And know how to speak their language. Absolutely. I think it's very important.
I agree. John, did you want to add something to it?
Yeah, there's something I have consistently refused to do for about the last 20 years, and that is to use words like cost center and expense when I'm talking about health and safety. I refer to it as, this is a profit center. And I keep hammering those words: profit center, profit center, profit center. Health and safety generates profits. It's not a cost center.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to let them see, isn't it? You've got to let them see how it's a profit making center.
You addressed that. You spoke about absences, sicknesses, staff turnover. Remember, staff turnover costs money. You have to train those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is for Fumi. Yeah. So what are the different IOSH courses and how do we decide which one to take? So Fumi she delivers the whole range of IOSH courses, so she would know how to answer this one so perfectly.
Okay, so I will break it down. We've got IOSH.
Very briefly.
Yeah, exactly. IOSH Leading Safely, just as it says in the name, it's for top executive, senior executive. We've got the CEO and the top executive, they sit in that category, and that talks about, it's a very short course, it's half a day or just about a day course, because we know that we can't be taking executives out longer than that. So in there, we kind of like sell the vision to them, what their role is, and how the organization, a healthy organization it brings in healthy profit, as actually, because that's what they want to hear, how the organization can continue to make money, not lose money. And so we let them see from that perspective. Then we've got IOSH Managing Safely, and that's again for like managers, anybody with the responsibility for supervising or managing health and safety in the workplace, they can sit that course. We've got IOSH Working Safely, and that's just for everybody. You need to understand what your role is as an employee in terms of working safely. In the UK here, we have a legislation that puts a duty on not just the employer alone, but also on the employee. So you need to understand what your part is and how you can, of course, work safely. Then we've got IOSH Occupational Health and Safety, Occupational Wellbeing. This is mainly for HR, those who need to understand the impact of well-being on the business. So where we don't have a healthy workforce, we have unhealthy organizations. So it's more designed for those who drive well-being initiatives in the workplace. So that's really kind of like the range of IOSH courses in a nutshell, but you can always visit our website, which we'll talk about a bit later on, to find out more information.
Cool. Okay, so we did this health and safety post-lockdown, and we did it with the large organizations versus the small. And for the large, we invited Ken Etete. He's the CEO of Century Group, a very big organization in Nigeria. And these were some of the things that he said, and I just thought it would be good to remind us of some of the things that he said, that really stuck with us. And the first one here says that the sun of HSE rises and sets on the CEO/the MD. So at the end of the day, it all comes back to you. You have the ultimate responsibility, to make sure that your workplace is safe. Even if you have health and safety consultants and managers and advisors and stuff, it all really comes back to you. So you cannot just give them the duty and then relax. You need to hear from them. You need to meet with them often. You need to go through numbers and reports and different things with them. You must be so involved. You must know everything,
So there must be an appetite. The MD cannot be too busy for health and safety. That's the long and short of it. You must have an appetite for it. You must have an interest for it. And you must be seen at the forefront of it as well. And we saw that with Ken Etete. He drives health and safety from that boardroom, right through, and it cascades down. And it's easier to get in the buy-in of the workforce when they see that you're leading by example, and that's what he's been able to do. And again, it's not just a statement that he just kind of thought of. This is something he lives, and this is amazing. So he says HSE is a huge business opportunity. You can make more money by being HSE compliant. I think John already talked about that, which is a profit-making center, if you see what I mean. HSE is profit-making rather than the usual perception. So we won't belabor that again. I think we've already touched on that. HSE is the insurance you provide yourself. Absolutely. Honestly, he's throwing some nuggets stuck in, and it's still resonating very strongly with me, because really and truly, it's an insurance for you, because you know that you can sleep at night knowing that because you've got a good health and safety infrastructure in place, the likelihood of you having somebody being injured in the workplace, the likelihood of somebody losing their lives is so reduced because you have something that's working. Okay, so I think that's pretty much what he was saying when he meant that HSE is the insurance you provide for yourself, and then
he's not saying you shouldn't have insurance, or you must have insurance. You must. He's not saying don't.
Remember,
it's a figure of speech.
Before people say Ken said,
insurance is for something that might happen. I much prefer to talk of HSE as assurance. It's assurance for when something happens.
Absolutely. That's a different
because I have assessed I have assessed many organizations for the health and safety standard way back to when it was 18,001, right up to 45,001 now. And that's in 26 countries, including many in Nigeria. I believe I did the first 18,001 assessment in Nigeria. I was the assessor for that. And the first thing we do is we go, speaking to Fumi's point about the top management, the assessment begins with an interview with top management. You already know if they're not interested, you're going to have a bad visit. You really know it's going to be very, very bad. And as for the actual assurance, then, I have never been in any company that has not suffered some form of accident. If they tell you, no, we have worked in heavy industry for 5 years without a lost time incident, it's a matter of lie.
Wow, okay. So this final point, HSE culture has just been reawakened globally by the coronavirus pandemic. It's back to being a necessity in all facets of work and life. And that's the fact.
We are key workers now.
We are now key workers.
HSE.
Everybody wants us, so.
And I think that's what he meant, no more putting HSE in the back burner.
Yeah.
It is on the front burner because it's actually business critical at this point. Yeah. So it says here, how do we manage behavioral changes considering the challenges of the new era of COVID-19? That is such a valid question because COVID has affected us in so many ways. For some people psychologically, for some people, socially, primarily socially. Now everybody's got a social distance or physical distance, as it were. And so how do you get people to still work safely and still balance that? Because we are social beings, the way we've been created, we're meant to interact with people. So it's very likely that the innate part of us would still want to cuddle, we still want to hug, we still want to work in close proximity and breach some of these things. But I think how we can do that, how we can manage behavioral changes is to ensure that, first of all, there's sensitization. We are sensitizing the workforce. We are telling them, we're showing them facts and figures. We're also selling the benefits to them, because sometimes the human being, once you tell them not to do something, that's when they want to do it. Why can't I do it? But when you begin to sell the idea to them of the benefits of doing it, I think that way it can help with a lot of mindset and behavioral changes. So I think that perhaps would work for me, where you do a lot of sensitization for people and letting them see the reason why. When we're talking about, X thousand of people have lost their lives, these are people's family members. These are people's fathers, mothers, and that nobody's exempted. The only thing that keeps us safe, the only thing that can keep us alive is observing these protocols. And so when we begin to drum that into the minds of our workforce, hopefully that should, help change the mindset.
Yes, and I think it's very important for us not to relax, because the truth is we're all tired. I'm tired. We're all really tired of all these lockdown, and the truth is we have now been conditioned to doing and living the way that we are not used to, that isn't even easy. So it's very important for us not to just relax and forget, because many people have forgotten, and there's really no fear these days. People don't even care anymore. There's no fear. Before, when it came out and it wasn't out there was this huge fear. And right now, nobody is scared. And we're not saying you should be scared, but we want you to keep it at the back of your mind. Hygiene, social distancing, those are the ways. It's amazing when people ask me, what do we do? What procedure do we have for cleaning window? And I'm thinking, why would we have a procedure for that because of COVID-19? So I think we need to be realistic. It's really social distance, wash your hands. So we need to remember that there's no magic to it, and there's no special formula. And then of course, I think that really answers this question about the teacher to teacher transmission in schools. We really need a sensitization and making sure that someone is monitoring and looking and observing and making sure that we are sticking to the rules while at work,
Absolutely. This one says, does health and safety guidelines advised by your employer while at the office applicable while working at home? With regards IT equipment, could you request infrastructure from your employer to be delivered to your home to help carry out your work due to the pandemic? And if they refuse, what actions could you take? Interesting. So this is, I think, the most common issue, to be honest, probably working from home now, is ergonomics. That's probably, if you're going to be looking at a priority of hazard or risk that we're exposed to, it's mainly going to be that. And to be honest, nothing should change from whatever you were doing in the office. Nothing should change because you're now working from home. And I think we brought on, what was his name?
Toby Duro.
Toby came in and he helped significantly with how we can also not be seen as a department that's costing the organization. So as health and safety representatives or as health and safety managers, we need to be very creative. We need to be innovative as well. And so he was quite innovative with the ideas that he gave us in terms of using things within our household that can still meet those requirements, that can help us to still keep safe. He gave an idea of, you know, using a carton or a carton to elevate your laptop. He told us what we can do to ensure that we sit right. And so we do have things in the house that we can use that can still help us to, you know, keep the risk level very, very much reduced, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
And I think we need to be realistic. I think sometimes we expect our employers to just spend the money, give us everything. No, like for me, for example, I drove to my office when I came back and I went to pick up my chair. I'd rather do that than order a new chair when I know there's a fantastic chair waiting for me at the office. So I just drove there, picked up my chair and I came home. You know, so we need to be realistic and we need to be sensitive and really, really just be supportive of our employers during this period. Because the truth is a lot of them have lost contracts, they've lost money and they really have no choice. They have to let people go.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to be supportive at this moment, not thinking about how we are going to spend the money. You have
That's
the money.
not there.
How do you know they have the money?
Yeah.
You know, people just assume that the money is there, even if it's not, you know.
Yeah.
So, and this is for John. Yes. Yeah. So, John, this is for you. Are there any measures that businesses can put in place against future pandemics? And I don't really want businesses to be thinking, oh, pandemic. There are other things that businesses have to be concerned about when it comes to business continuity plan. You know?
Yes, it is going to be all about having a business continuity plan to cater not just for pandemics. Pandemics come, pandemics go. We will return to normal. Society is the way it was for a very good reason, and it will return that way. We have had massive panic, massive overreaction. Sweden, for example, didn't even close schools, and nothing's happened. The biggest problem Sweden had was to do what the British did and put old people from hospitals into care homes. That was an issue. And that's why Sweden rose a little bit higher than it should. So there will be future pandemics. They'll come, they'll go, but there'll also be other things, and we have to deal with them. In this case, we've dealt with the pandemic and a government overreaction, a lockdown that didn't work in any country. Lockdown has damaged more than it's helped. And that's only just coming out now. The National Health Service in the many European countries, not just the UK, is so far behind on its normal stuff, it's causing major health problems, much more than COVID ever did. So we have to put our proper business continuity plans in place. We need to have equipment ready. We need to have more than that. We have policies and plans ready. What are we going to do when this happens? And more importantly, how do we return back to normal in a phased manner afterwards?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Definitely they'll have to, do you want me to just move down the list, or will you take us through the list for me?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the next one is what training and assignment of responsibilities implementation stage of BCP are required?
Okay, well, everybody should have, any company who wants to do this right needs to find out about proper business continuity planning. They may want to go the whole hog and get themselves certified to the international standard, ISO 22301. They're very welcome to do so. But even for the smaller organizations, they can say, well, we don't actually need to be certified, but we do need to have plans and policies in place. And the first thing you have to begin with is your business impact analysis. Well, how is this going to affect us? And what are our mission critical activities? So you would have, for example, that in certain cases, let's say we're dealing with a bank. A bank may say, the most important thing is to maintain our customer base. So we have to service them. So taking on new customers is not quite so important. We also have to maintain our regulatory obligations. So reporting is a key thing. So they would focus on that. So the business impact opportunity will bring out so much of what you can allow to slip completely, what you must maintain altogether, and what you can say, well, look, we can't fully do this, but we could maintain a 50% service here, because there will be service organizations who have to maintain service level agreements and with their clients. These should all have been arranged beforehand. In the event of a problem, we will guarantee you, we can't guarantee you 100%, but our service level could drop to 70, 60, whatever it is. this all should be done beforehand. That's part of the implementation, the planning for the implementation. Areas prone to natural disasters need a business continuity plan. What is the difference between public health and natural disaster? Well, I mean, we have seen many places. For instance, if you take COVID now, COVID in Nigeria, at the minute, officially there's less than 1,000 deaths. Unofficially, even if you multiplied that up 2 or 3 times, it's still nothing compared to Lassa fever and malaria, which are Nigeria's health problems, not COVID. COVID's nothing really. Lockdown damaged everybody. Lockdown had a bigger impact than COVID, and COVID was never going to hit Niger that hard at all. So, you know, you can't just say because we're not in a natural disaster area, we can ignore this. No, you certainly can't. Everybody needs a business continuity plan. And a lot of what you put in place for one thing will help you in another. One of the big things about a lockdown and a pandemic was your staff might not get access. Well, that's the same as a denial of access. Should there be an accident? Should there be civil unrest? Should there be infrastructure disruption? A major, very rich person in Africa who has headquarters near Falamo Roundabout, I'm sure you all know who we're talking about, a gentleman, I've met him and his daughters. His entire building, they had a denial of access because there was a tanker coming over Falamo Bridge, which suddenly had a big accident, major oil spill, big fire risk. Nobody could get in or out of the building. So there would have been part of a pandemic plan about denial of access, about denial of people, could have been implemented and helped in that. As for the difference between public health and natural disaster, well, public health and any kind of disaster are interlinked. It's a part of your business continuity plan. A business continuity plan that doesn't deal with that is ridiculous. We can see even now when we're talking about COVID, we're bringing in public health. We're talking about people washing their hands. We're talking about all kinds of things like this. So also, I did mention something like this earlier on when we talk about flooding areas or areas that suffer big natural disasters. When you try to get relief in, there can be a big issue there. You need your infrastructure to allow things to actually come in. Oh, but testing, yes. Testing is very, very important for any business continuity plan. You can do a very simple test, which will give you a little bit of confidence in the thing. A simple test could be, let's just get somebody to review our plans and see, do they logically make sense? You've said on page 1, you're going to do this. You've said on page 3, you're not going to do this. Your plan's not going to work. So that will give you a little bit of confidence. The next thing you can do is you can do various simulations. I mean, you do this with fire alarms. You have to have a fire drill. People have to go out. And most businesses don't do proper fire drills. They let everybody know there's going to be a fire drill tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And then they have their fire drill tomorrow. And everybody, of course, you can see the ladies don't like to leave their handbags. So they've got their handbags all packed and ready. And everybody's got their coats on. And they're all standing there 5 to 3. Hurry up, start the fire drill so we can all get out and over with. You know, well, the best thing to do is simply tell the CEO, tomorrow I'm having a fire drill at 3 o'clock. And wham. Nobody else knows. And then you'll see, does it really happen? And you're standing outside with your stopwatch and you'll see other people. I've gone into buildings and people haven't left. Oh, I thought it was just a drill. I wasn't going to leave. Well, when were you going to leave? When your office went on fire? Was that when you were going to do it? So you can test like these practical ways. You can have boardroom simulations. I know large companies and what they'll do, especially if they have different sites. And they'll hire a very large hall, they block areas of this hall off, and all of a sudden at 3 in the morning, their key staff will be called to report to this area, and they'll come in with their little business continuity plans, which they'll have kept at home. Sometimes people will keep at their reception desks what they call a battle box with plans and equipment and everything like that, and they'll all report into the central area. You'll be told, right, you guys, you are responsible for the head office. You go over into that corner. You're responsible for our alternative site. You guys go into that corner. you guys can only communicate by phone, and then you can actually do something like block the signals and see what will they do. Will they send a runner? All kinds of things like that. So you can do everything from an actual full enactment, and the enactment can be very disruptive, can be very, very difficult to do, can nearly cost you as much as the real event. And you can go right down just simply to the review your plans. So there's a whole range of stuff there that you can do.
Oh
That's
my
fine.
God.
That's fine. These are topics that we've touched on before. You know, we looked at this already. We talked about doing a risk assessment, and we will look at that in some slides that's coming up very soon. But like we said, Jessie came in. She's an advocate when it comes to gender and racial equality in the workplace, and so she spoke very intensively on breaking through concrete ceilings, particularly for a female in a male-dominated sector. It's not a glass ceiling for her, it's a concrete one. And you know, she talked about things you had to do, and so some of these questions were, how do you you know, what do you do when you need to admit your mistakes? And she said you need to own it. You need to own it that you've made a mistake, and as early as possible, where it doesn't have an impact on the lives of people, particularly in her sector that she works in. You need to correct it immediately as soon as you can. How have you dealt with failure in the past? You know, one of the things she said, and I think I could relate to it, is, you know, there's no one that hasn't failed. I think it's the ability to rise above it, yes, you know, and identify where you may have, where your shortcomings were, what are the areas that you can, what you can do, the strengths that you need to hone to be able to turn those weaknesses as well into strengths. So don't live in the past, just forge it ahead and know that it is the past. Of course, it can impact our future, but only if we want it to, okay? Yeah. So,
and I think it's very important for us to note that Jessie's session, I don't want people to think it's about Black women. It's not about Black women, it's for everyone. Because those points and the things that she shared, they are relevant across any sector, across any job, gender, race, anything. So whoever you are, please watch that video. It's not for Black women, you know, so I need us to remember that. Absolutely. Not for Black women, it's for everyone.
Because we will all have bottlenecks, yes, and have challenges in our workplaces. So it was really kind of like, her topic was really dealing on resilience, you know, and so how you can thrive in the face of adversity or challenges. Okay, so we said, remember.
Yes, so as we prepare to resume work, and I think it's very important for us to carry out risk assessments now. I think people are waiting for the office to open before they do their thing. You do your thing, by the time you review with people that matter, because the truth is when you do risk assessment, you're not doing it alone. Absolutely. You're doing it with the people who actually do these jobs. Yeah. By the time you go back to them, you go back and forth, a month is gone. COVID has started spreading further. So it's very important for us to do it now before work even begins. We need to start preparing now. I think people are waiting. What are you waiting for? We need to prepare now. And the focus really should be on hygiene. What's going to affect all this? What's going to stop us from, you know, meeting our hygiene requirements, hand washing and stuff? What's going to stop us from, you know, doing that physical distancing? Some countries have put 1 meter. In the UK, it's still 2 meters. So you need to be following the guidelines from the government. We're not just doing our own thing. Yeah, we're following guidelines from the government. We're also making sure it's in sync with what we do at work. So we don't just run off and do our own thing. We wish we could, but we just can't, you know? And then, of course, here, I've written here with the hygiene, is very important. We're not fumigating COVID-19. It's not a pest. It's not hiding in corners. We need to clean. We need to deep clean. We need to sanitize. There are some areas that we call the key touch points or the high touch points. And these are areas that we touch often, like the flushers, like the doorknobs, like keys, like surfaces that we touch often. Those areas need to be cleaned a few times more than we usually do. So you need to increase your cleaning frequency and things like that. You know, so it's very important for us to put all this in mind before going to work and before even resuming school or anything. And then also PPE. I see people wear gloves as their usual, part of their usual outfits. Gloves, please don't. Please don't. If it does not form part of your PPE for your usual task, then don't, because you are only going to end up cross-contaminating everything else. You know, so please, only if it's necessary, and remember your hierarchy of control when you are deciding what PPE to use. Why do we even want to wear masks in the first place? I will only do that if I know that I'm going to a place where there are so many people, I will not be able to keep my distance, you know, but I will not just wear a mask because I'm walking down my street and trying to go for a 5-minute stroll. There's no crowd on my street. There was a crowd, then I'll probably wear it. So we need to understand and also share with our teams, why do we need PPE when, you know, and things like that, okay?
And I think what most importantly as well is contractor management plays a key role here, because a lot of us, when we're, you know, contracting out our cleaning as well.
Oh,
It's
yes.
important for us to understand what chemicals, because some people in their minds feel like they need to use, you know, you need to ensure they're not using hazardous
Yes.
substances, you know, so you need to know that your contractors know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You're checking what chemicals that you're using, that it doesn't cause more harm than the good that
yeah.
you're trying to provide. So
yeah,
that's great.
Okay, so some quick updates. Yeah, we still got a bit of time. So the first one, yeah, we have to do a bit of power thing here, you know. So it's the end of season 1, and we are taking a break for a few weeks. We'll be back in August, on the 7th of August, with a fresh new series and, you know, more topics, you know. So of course, that is that. And then our darling Fumi here, yeah. So she's campaigning to become an IOSH Council member. Can you tell us a bit more about what IOSH Council members do?
Well, IOSH Council members will they represent you know, all the members across the globe, and they're more or less the voices, or you know, the voices of people when it comes to governance within IOSH. So it is something that as a career path for me that I've decided to want to pursue. So please do keep an eye out in the coming weeks on more information about it. But yes, thank you very much.
So we will send out some emails when we know more, okay? And then of course, if you want to speak on this wonderful series, you are welcome to apply.
Okay, we've been overwhelmed with so much requests. She didn't want to mention that, but we've had people asking, and there's no harm about that, because it's good, because it means that we're having impact, there's good coverage. And so please, if you do feel that you have something that you can add, any value you can add in any way, just send us an email. We are open. We want to have as many people on that can touch as many lives across the globe. So please, if you are interested in becoming a speaker, all you've got to do is just to send us a message.
Yeah, so you send us an email, it's coming soon. Our email address is coming soon. And then, of course, Relieve Safetageous 2020. So this is my event. We hold it every year, and we had it 2 weeks ago. So we've got the videos, the presentations, different things. We've got them available online or in a flash. So if you're in a country where data is so expensive and it's going to, you know, take a lot from you to watch just one video, then we have everything in a flash. We will post it out to you. So if you're interested, we will send out a link to everyone who is watching and everyone who is registered with us. You will get a link on where to get your
I think
copy.
it's important, before you moved on, what is Safetageous?
Oh,
you know,
okay.
You didn't really mention
Well,
that, but in a nutshell, IK is education, when it comes to health and safety and education, that really is her forte. And so yearly she runs events to promote that for, you know, whether you're a parent or you're in education, anything to do with empowering the education sector when it comes to health and safety. So that was really what essentially was about. It was phenomenal, and not because I spoke there or anything, but it was just amazing. We had amazing speakers as well. So you will definitely, it's not a case of would you like, this is, you will get a link to want to watch Safetageous and more information on that.
Yes, okay, cool. Good girl. Okay, so I think I needed to do this one.
Right, so it's official. Fumi and IK, we are actually a registered company in the United Kingdom. So we thought it's not just a brand name, or it's just not something that we casually do. We have officially registered it. So what you need to expect is more quality things to come off the back of this. Yeah.
For example?
An example would be all our sessions from next season will be CPD approved. So for many of you guys who would like CPD points, you know, you are definitely going to be at the right place. So all you need to do, if you want certificate of attendance, you want the slides, and you want the points, there is a package put together for those who would be interested in that. But it's important for you to know that we're not just coming to talk from the top of our heads. Whatever you get on our platform is adding value to you, and you do gain points for that.
Yep. Okay. So, and then but before we leave for this season, it's important for us to share what we do, you know, as individuals and as business owners. So for me, we start with hers.
So I'm the CEO of Combined Training Solutions, and we are a health and safety consulting firm, both in the United Kingdom and in Nigeria and in other parts of Africa as well. Rapidly growing, thankfully. And all we do essentially is we provide solutions, health and safety solutions, to organizations, and of course to individuals as well, in the form of, you know, training, certifications, whether ISO certifications, if you want to get international standard or certifications, we can do that for you. If you need to do the training, we can do that for you. We are also approved IOSH center. So all of the IOSH courses that we've talked about, you can just stop by on our site and pick up any one that you want to do. We have other courses that we do. We are also PCB approved, which means that we are a body that can actually help with certification, like I said, with ISO certifications. There's so many things. We just need you, because of time, we would like you to just stop by at www.ctsglobe.com to just go and take a tour. Take a tour,
babies.
Yes.
Yep. Okay. So, and then the next is me. Okay. So, Safe Schools, and then of course me, Professor Ike. So Professor Ike is a little brand. Yeah. So of course with Safe Schools, what we do at Safe Schools is the thing is we don't want to work with everybody. We believe that places like the UK or America, they already have an established system. I don't know what I'm going to come up with telling them. But if I look at Africa and if I look at Nigeria, we are so behind when it comes to safety. And that's what Safe Schools is about. Safe Schools is really focused on the developing world, developing countries. And it's really about providing resources and training and just really helping set safety standards in schools. You know, so of course we have the school safety portal where we have a lot of online resources. We've got training, we've got materials, we've got, you know, templates for different things that you need. If you need a health and safety policy, we've got the template for it. And many of our templates come with explainer videos. So we don't just give you a template and say, go off. We explain, it's like a training all over. And then we explain how to go through every stage of it and things like that. And then another thing I do is I help businesses go online. So if you need to get your training online, you need to get your business to maybe even have a website, you're an educator, you're a trainer. This period during COVID-19, a lot of training businesses have suffered and almost died, you know, so I've actually helped a couple of them get online.
Including CTS.
Including CTS. Okay, I wasn't going to mention that, but of course, help them get online, create their courses online, give them the right platforms to do their online businesses and things. And even some schools, you know, I started with my mom's school, got them an online learning platform, got children to register, and they were able to learn every week. You know, so I'm very techie like that. So I do help people get online. So of course, if you want to get online, you want to start training online, you want to put your courses online, I'm your lady, okay? So that is that. And then of course, we told you about the session we wanted to have with you guys, just to help you with some digital stuff. And the truth is we just felt like now a lot of things have changed. Technology is also something that many people are now looking up to. And we are saying that safety professionals, we shouldn't put it aside. We need to get rid of paper. The truth is paper wastes time. And we really just want to have a session where we take you through, you know, hands-on, real training, practical training on how you can get online as a safety professional, how you can use the simple tools around you to work more efficiently with your teams and in your organizations. So of course, we have a paid session coming up next Saturday. We will send links and we will send more information. It's just £10 or $10 per person, you know, and we don't have too many people. We want it to be very hands-on and want to be able to interact with everyone. Have you got anything to add?
I think you've done well. You've done justice to it.
Okay, so that is it. So we'll send more information. It's next Saturday, same time, 3 to 4, you know, and we know that on Fridays people are at work. So we want you to be focused. That's why we've chosen a Saturday. We want you to be focused and come there with your notepad and your pen and your laptops. You know, we're going to get really practical. Okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, so thank you very much. This is the end of today's presentation.
Yeah.
But before we go, we need to look at the chats and the question section. We don't want to ignore it.
Yeah.
We don't want to ignore it.
So let's quickly scroll through because IK is pacing because she knows I hate us being late. So you can hear her kind of pacing through.
I'm like, what?
So let's just quickly scan through. Whilst we do that, hi everyone. We've heard that. This is amazing. It's that Obong John.
Thank you. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to IJ. I can hear IK and Fumi. Thank you very much. Happy birthday, IK. Can't hear you guys. Okay, let's just move on. Hi, ladies and John. Can you make this session interactive by allowing members of the audience to make contributions? Toby or John, that's noted, and we'll give a good thought to that, Toby, as we come back in the second season. How can we get a recording of the session in this series? We have a YouTube page actually where everything is uploaded on our YouTube channel. So please do, oh good, John's done that already. Everything is on a YouTube channel. Fumi and IK, you'd find us on YouTube. Kosi Wahala, okay, good. John speaking Yoruba there. I would definitely vote for you, for me. Thank you very much, Ugochi. Amazing. Dalu Ugochi. Oh, John is really speaking Yoruba. Hausa, everything. Awesome session and happy birthday, IK. IK, thank you so much. CSR, corporate social responsibility. That's what that means. Well done to Fumi and IK. You're welcome. Okay.
What is IOSH?
IOSH is the Institute of Safety and Health Professionals. That's the global body for occupational health and safety professionals across the globe. So if you are a safety professional, whether existing or an aspiring one, that is definitely a member body you want to belong to. Fumi and Ike, well done for the session. Has been awesome. Right, let's see. Okay, so it's better to look at it this way. Well done, ladies. Thank you so much. Thanks to the two of you all the time for your training. We're grateful for that. Thank you so much. Okay, I think we've touched on that. We've got Q&A as well. We had questions in the Q&A box. Very quickly. Sorry for me, you promoted, oh no, you promised a link for an online training on auditing remotely. Yes, that's what we're talking about. So you need to, we have sent that link out, but we are going to send it out again. The training will be, is it next week?
Next Saturday, yeah.
Next Saturday. So we'll send that information out again, David Olojo. The use of guardrails has been a safety measure in workplaces. What recommendations would you recommend now that we are sensitizing or we are sensitization for little contact with surfaces? Okay, so I think what they're essentially, so how do we balance where, guardrails where it's supposed to help us to protect us from fall, slips and fall, but at the same time, it's a surface that could, we could contaminate. I think in workplaces, like Ike has said, these will be a hot zone, a hot area that you touch. So even if you do hold the handrails, as it were, you need to sanitize, you need to wash your hands. If you're in a workplace, do more frequent washing of hands. Avoid touching your faces if you can, but yes, just be a lot more hygienic in terms of how often you wash your hands. I think we've done justice to this session. I'm a sucker for keeping to time. We've done very well, and we want to say from the bottom of our heart, very, 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 very big thank you to everyone who has been consistent all through. What's that?
Is PayPal the only payment portal? No, we will send you more information.
Yes, we've got for Nigerian users or dollar or dollar users. I think Paystack is one for those in Nigeria. So we will actually use that information. We share that information. But it's been an awesome season from Ike and I to you guys. We want to say we love you, and you can be rest assured that next season and beyond is even going to be bigger and better. Not because we're saying that, but you've seen everything we've talked about our courses or our sessions being CPD approved. And so you are actually, it's important information that we're bringing to you that adds value to you and your career progression as well. John, we can't thank you enough. You've been consistent 10 weeks straight.
John, he never
misses amazing,
any session.
And of course we're going to see more of John, because it seems to be now Fumi and Ike somewhere hiding John.
Oshe Yalu Nagode. Oshe.
Okay. You're welcome. Welcome. So thank you very much, guys. Please look out for our emails. Sometimes it goes into junk. So please be rest assured, if you haven't received anything yet, particularly Mr. David Olojo, you may want to check your spam. Your spam box, is very possible. Unfortunately, sometimes it may be there. So just put Fumi and Ike in your inbox or in your email, and hopefully you should get something. But everyone, over 1,000 people so far that have registered with us in the past 10 weeks, will definitely and always will get communication from us. So from us to you guys, thank you until August, until the 7th of August.
We'll be in touch, so please do watch out for our emails. We'll be in touch.
Yes, absolutely. God bless you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying tuned.
Bye-bye. Bye, John. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.